and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if this is your first time joining me today. This video is a lot different than the videos that I usually do. I've really been thinking about doing these kinds of videos for quite a long time, and what kind of really spurred me to do it was Shane Dawson's new 3-part series. Well, he calls it a 3-part series. It's a lot more than 3 parts, where he helped Graveyard Girl, aka Bunny, get back to doing some of the things that she really used to do on her channel that a lot of people enjoyed, and a lot of people really wanted to see new exciting content from her, stuff that she really cared about, stuff that she really likes to talk about. And that really inspired me to make this video and start making these types of videos, which are like true crime. This isn't really crime, I guess you would say. This is just like a mysterious, weird thing that's going on. I really hope to do some true crime stuff, some mysterious videos like this, and definitely like some conspiracy theory type things. That's really what I'm into. I love watching shows about that kind of stuff. I love watching YouTube videos about that kind of stuff. So I'm really hoping that I can help incorporate that into my channel. So without further ado, let's just get started into this video. So our topic for today is something that I've heard of before. I've heard about it on the news and stuff in the past, but recently I got into it again because family members were on the Dr. Phil show, and what we're going to talk about is the Church of Wells, which exists in the town of Wells, Texas, and it's a pretty creepy church. It's kind of like a cult. A lot of people refer to it as a cult. Family members of members who go to the church refer to it as a cult. So we're going to jump into that and talk about this one girl whose family has been pretty much relentless in their quest to get their daughter to come back home after joining the Church of Wells. So the girl that joined the Church of Wells that we're going to talk about, sorry guys, my nose is kind of itchy, like right here. Does anybody else? It looks like I'm picking my nose. I'm sorry. But anyway, the girl that we're going to talk about, her name is Catherine Grove, and she was a 26-year-old nursing student who disappeared from her apartment in Fayetteville, Arkansas in the summer of 2013. And if you see me looking down, I have my computer with notes right here because this is kind of a long and very detailed type of situation, and I want to make sure that I give everything exactly right, especially since it's my first video like this. Sorry, hair's weird. You guys know I always mess with my hair. But anyway, so I do have notes here to make sure that I don't mess anything up. But yeah, she was 26 and she was in nursing school, and her family pretty much described her as a really normal girl. She grew up in a Christian household. Their household was like evangelical Christians. It was pretty normal for their community in Fayetteville. Like, it's in the Bible Belt. I live in the Bible Belt. This kind of thing is normal. A lot of families, kids grow up in a Christian household. That's just the way that it works here. And so she was described as being really normal, really motivated in school. She was a nursing student, like I said, and you guys probably know nursing students have to be like the toughest of the tough, the most motivated people, because nursing school is extremely hard, extremely competitive. So that just kind of shows you what kind of person she was. She was doing really well in school, and you know, when she disappeared, her family initially thought that maybe she had just gone on like a spur-of-the-moment trip with some of her girlfriends, but they became worried after about a week or so of her being gone and not hearing from her. So then they decided to take matters into their own hands. So after a couple of months of searching, Catherine's parents found themselves in the town of Wells, Texas. And they were asking people around town. They said, hey, you know, this is our daughter Catherine. Have y'all seen her? We're really looking for her. We're really worried. And, you know, the Church of Wells was brought up, and everybody said, oh, if you're looking for your daughter, that's where she's gonna be. Everybody comes here looking for their kids, and they're always at the Church of Wells. And if you don't go and find her like right now, you're never gonna see her again. So obviously her parents were freaked out. They were panicked. They said, you know, where is this church? Where is this? Oh, we need to go and find her. We want to bring her home. So the guy that they were talking to gave them directions to the Church of Wells. It's kind of like, it started out initially as one big building, but I think that they've kind of got a compound type thing going on right now. I will insert a picture of what they showed to be the Church of Wells in the articles that I read and in Dr. Phil, so I will insert that picture here. So, you know, Catherine's parents eventually found the Church of Wells. They go up, they knock on the door, and these two guys come out. And the mom was kind of freaked out when they came out because they looked just like really weird, and she said that their eyes would like vibrate when she was talking to them. She said they seemed kind of brainwashed and just like they were just like saying a rehearsed script. You know, it sounded really forced. But what they told her was, or what they told the parents was that they were not going to be allowed to see Catherine, and that they had evidence that Catherine's father had tried to kill Catherine, which was obviously crazy ridiculous, just throwing accusations for no real reason, I guess to try to threaten Catherine's parents so that they wouldn't push to see Catherine. But these parents are so determined to find their daughter that literally nothing could stop them. They waited at the Church of Wells to speak to Catherine for 7 hours. These two men did not let them see their daughter for 7 hours. That is insane. Like, crazy insane. So obviously Catherine's parents knew that something was very, very wrong here at the Church of Wells. These guys were being super weird. They wouldn't let them see Catherine. They had to wait like 7 hours just to see their daughter. That was so crazy. And then when they finally could see Catherine, they were able to talk to her, and she basically told them that she wasn't going to go back with them, and she needed to remain at the Church of Wells so that she could seek the Lord, and that they had convinced her that she was not truly saved and she was not going to go to heaven unless she came to the Church of Wells and worshiped with them, which her parents thought was just absolutely crazy. And her mom even described in the Dr. Phil episode, I will link that stuff down below, by the way. Her mom described in the Dr. Phil episode how her daughter looked. She said that she looked brainwashed, she sounded brainwashed, and when she was talking to her daughter, her eyes were vibrating just like the guys that she had talked to before. And like, this is a pretty common experience for people to have, the vibrating eyes when they speak to people from the Church of Wells. That is apparently very, very common. It's like, it's really creepy. It's like brainwashing almost. Like, it seems like they're just brainwashed and they just can't snap out of it.
We spoke to several of the other members. When we would bring up their family members, their eyes would begin shaking and vibrating like a zombie stare.
So obviously when Catherine said this, her parents knew that something was seriously wrong here. They believed that she's been brainwashed, and they immediately dropped everything that they were doing, rented like an RV, a camper type thing, so that they could stay in Wells for months and months to try to get their daughter back. And like, this is so serious, you guys. Like, they dropped their jobs, they dropped just everything that they had back at home in Arkansas, and just stayed in this town because they were not planning on leaving without their daughter. And that is some serious dedication. Like, you know that these accusations that the people at the Church of Wells were making were totally false, because why would someone who tried to kill their daughter go and drop everything and spend months and months in this town where they don't know anybody and they don't have a job, they don't know anything about this town? All they know is that their daughter has basically been kidnapped and brainwashed by this church that pretty much everybody in the town of Wells believes to be a cult. Everybody in that town refers to the Church of Wells as a brainwashing cult. It's just common knowledge that the people there are no good. They're up to no good. There's bad stuff going on. There have been a lot of accusations brought about the Church of Wales. And I will have all of my sources down below for this information that I'm giving you guys, because it's just so much. And even y'all might want to go and research for yourself, because there's so many articles, so many interviews. It's just so much to look into. But everybody in this town believes that this church is a cult that's just taking these people and brainwashing them. So and their purpose is kind of unknown. Like, everybody knows their doctrines and stuff. They have a website, they even have a YouTube channel. But basically, this church, their core beliefs seem to be that to be saved or to go to heaven or whatever you want to call it, they have to basically demonize themselves and say that they're like not worthy of being saved. They have to be really self-loathing and self-critical, and that's just like so so crazy. That's not what the teachings of a cult, not a cult, that's not what the teachings of a church should be. These sound like the teachings of a cult. This is how you get people brainwashed. You tell them they're not worthy, they're nothing, you know, you need us to tell you what you have to do to be saved and to go to heaven, or else you're going to burn in hell for eternity, and all this stuff. And that's just not right. That is like the makings of a cult. This is like some Manson type stuff going on here. This is weird. So Catherine's parents did stay down in Wales for a very, very long time. I do believe that they returned home eventually after Catherine repeatedly refused to go with them. But in April of 2015, Catherine placed a 911 call, and she seemed kind of like frantic, but she also sounded really delusional and drugged and just completely off. And she had called 911 so that someone could come and pick her up from the church. So obviously sheriff's deputies were very concerned about her, and they went out there immediately to pick her up. And she stated that the reason that she wanted to leave the church was because she had gotten into a pretty rough argument with another one of the members of the church. Not sure who, she didn't really say, or what the argument was about, but regardless, she called 911 and they came and got her, and she stated that she wanted to call her parents. So her parents obviously immediately came. They came and got her, and the really sad part is that she stayed with them for 6 days, so she was almost with them for a week, and then she decided to return to the Church of Wales. So that's pretty much the sad part of this story, because you know bad stuff was going on there. There's accusations of like pedophilia, domestic abuse. Like, there's a whole lot of accusations that of course the church denies, but you know, nobody's that secretive and that like brainwashed if nothing bad is going on there. There would be no reason to be so secretive about it, and no reason to isolate people from their families. It's common knowledge in the town of Wales that the members of the Church of Wales are completely cut off from their families. They are completely estranged from their families. And that's probably one of the saddest parts about this, is that you know that really bad stuff has to be going on back there. But these people have been like abused and brainwashed that they can't see their families, they can't talk to their families, they can't have phone calls. That is like the key sign of emotional / physical abuse. Abusers want to separate the person they're abusing from their family, just completely separate them from the outside world so that they feel like they don't have anybody to turn to. And that is how this cult is operating, in my personal opinion. This is not really a fact, but that's what I'm saying. If you look up signs of abuse, one of the first things is that you're cut off from your family and friends, and you're completely estranged from everybody you know, so that the only person or people that you have to turn to is the person abusing you or the people abusing you. That is one of the main things, and anybody could tell you that. You could look it up right now. but this is really common knowledge. Everybody in the town knows about it, but there's no proof that anything illegal is going on, so they can't really stop it. So, like I said, sadly, Catherine did return to the Church of Wales after staying with her family for almost a week. And actually, as soon as she got back to the church, she announced that she would be marrying one of the church elders, whose name is Ronnie Saltzman, and that she was also denouncing her family. And to me, that sounds like she got back and they said, you know, you left or whatever, and as your punishment, you're never going to see your family again, and you got to marry this guy to prove that you want to be in this church. You know, it's kind of just like you left, and so now you have to prove yourself by doing these things.
You want to talk to Catherine? She's dead. What do you mean Catherine's dead?
You're standing right there.
I've been crucified with Christ.
That's what it seems like to me, but she claims that this is all of her own accord, that she's not being held against her will. So I guess for the time being, we kind of just have to believe that. But many people, on the Dr. Phil show, he had many people who worked in law enforcement, detectives, stuff like that, where they say that she exhibits clear signs of someone who's being held captive, of someone who's being held against their will and abused. And like I said, that stuff will be linked down in the description so that y'all can go and check out the Dr. Phil episode. It doesn't have the full episode on Dr. Phil's channel, but he does have a lot of clips about it so you can learn more about this case. But as of right now, her family is still just reaching out and trying to get help for their daughter, trying to get her to come back home. They just really want her to come home, even though she says that she's just completely denounced them and she wants nothing to do with them, which obviously, you know, that's heartbreaking for this family because they obviously love their daughter so much. They've spent, I don't even know how much money, lost I don't know how much money, trying to get their daughter back, pulling out all the stops. I mean, they went on national television to talk about this numerous times. Even before Dr. Phil, I think they were on talk shows, maybe the Today Show, stuff like that, that I saw during my research. So there's kind of an unofficial investigation being done. A lot of people are sketched out about the Church of Wales, and they're doing a little bit of digging to see if they can find something to get this shut down, but as of right now, I don't think anything is going to be done. I don't think there's any clear evidence that there's foul play here, so I don't really know what else I can do about it. But like I said, Catherine Grove's parents are determined to get their daughter back, and I feel like eventually she probably will escape again, and hopefully she will stay out of the Church of Wales because I feel like that's just not a good place to be. It's just really sketchy, and it's really sad, you guys, because, you know, you have all of these young people who have so much of their life ahead of them, and they're being, like, snatched up, kind of, by this Church of Wales, which is kind of like a cult, and it's ruining these people's lives. Like, she would be a nurse by now, probably. I don't know how long nursing school is, but she's 28 now, or actually, she's older than 28. She's in her 30s, but she would be a nurse by now, and instead, she's at the Church of Wales, you know, talking down on herself, believing that she's not worthy of being saved, and all of this stuff. And it's just so sad to see this happening. And you know, this kind of thing has happened to all of the other members. Maybe they weren't in nursing school or doing these kinds of things, but they still had their whole lives ahead of them, and now that's kind of just lost. Thank you guys so much for joining me again today. Leave me a like if you like this video, comment down below, and subscribe because I make new videos every Monday and Friday. Thank you guys once again so much for joining me today, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!